What's up, Randy? Troy, what's up? Kevin, Eric, what's going on, everybody? We'll give it just a second, let everybody get filed in. Carlos, we'll get to the free picks. And 30 seconds in, somebody's already starting. But we will do a top 25 breakdown. It will be my final top 25 recap, update, whatever you want to call it, for this college basketball season. So bittersweet, but over this past week, basically since last Friday, a lot of your senior nights have happened, or senior day, whatever you want to call it, where teams are playing their final regular season home game of the season because conference tournaments are getting ready to begin. A lot of teams are wrapping up their season this weekend. And then we'll get into conference tournaments. And then obviously following the conference tournaments will be all of the big tournaments, CBI, NIT, and then the big dance, the NCAA tournament. So if you are not someone who had purchased my college basketball season, I'm pretty sure that you know the answer to that. There you go. Old D says if you watch the early morning vid, he gave out 3 bangers already. True that. Eric, yes sir. But if you are not on my college basketball season, or you are not on a 1-year all access pass, and you want March Madness, you can get it. It's $199. It's on the website. The package is labeled 2020 March Madness package. If you buy a 3-day, 7-day, 30-day package, whatever, the normal passes that I have, you will get March Madness picks in those. But obviously, you can't buy a 7-day pass and get every March Madness pick that I have because it goes on for a month's time. So if you're more focused on March Madness, I would recommend buying that. If you want March Madness plus the other sports, NBA, NHL, and you know what will be included on those days, then maybe March Madness package isn't for you. Maybe buy the 1-month pass for $299, so that way you can get everything that the March Madness package offers, and then some. But then again, if you buy a 1 month today, you may not get the very end. You may not get the Final Four, or you won't get the Final Four, because that should be the first week of April. How was tournament time last year? I don't know that I understand your question, Colton. I have not had an NCAA game of the year. I actually brought that up. Hold on one second. Maybe a week ago. Maybe a week ago. I think I said on video that it was a rare year where I had not had an NCAA game of the year in basketball. And that's not saying that I won't. I still may very well have one. I just haven't had one up to this point. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to. I'm certainly not going to force one. I'm certainly not going to, just decide to have one because we haven't had one. It's the first time I haven't had one, but hey, it happens. So we'll see. Maybe one does happen. I don't know. I do not have. I mean, I have one that I like. I don't know if it's going to make play of the year. I do think that it'll end up being a game of the week at least. We'll just have to see because it's not happening until this weekend. So, profit-wise, last year in the tournament was great. The very end of the tournament, what was it? I picked Virginia to fall in the Final Four, and they didn't. So we lost that. I picked Auburn to fall. No, not Auburn. Texas Tech to fall when they did not. So the last week of it was actually a loss. But everything leading up to it, conference tournaments on through that, was very profitable every single week leading up into that final week. But we didn't lose a ton that final week, so it didn't overly affect it. We didn't turn a profit. What's up, Alex? Christian, good question. Hold on one second, guys. I had to use some freaking hand lotion. I used this soap earlier to wash my hands, and it made it freaking dry. Um, Christian, I usually do a video on that. Right there before the start of the season and kind of give my predictions of what I think is going to happen. It's my, obviously predictions before the season even begins. And then once we get about 30 days into the season, I always go back and if there's any updates needed, to where I say like, hey, I want everyone to go bet these. I'll do so. Past couple of years, I haven't done that. I've made my picks a week or two before the season, and that's what I've rolled with. 2018, I did one where the only thing that I changed was the Cubs to win the Central. That's it. When I did my preseason predictions, everybody else I had the same. I still had the Red Sox winning the World Series. I still had them playing the Dodgers for the World Series. But I did go back because originally I had the Brewers winning it, the Central, and then I went back and changed it to the Cubs a week into the season, or 2 weeks into the season, when I officially made my bet. I just couldn't look past the talent. They started off the way that they needed to. People that were injured were looking like they were going to come back ahead of schedule. And then, of course, we see what happens. They did not do so. They ended up making a wild card and losing to the Rockies. So that was the only one I lost. But I said that year where I think at that time when I made the prediction, the Washington Nationals were actually favored to win the World Series. Second to that was the Houston Astros. Third was the Dodgers. Fourth was the Yankees, which didn't make any sense. I had the Red Sox. I had the Braves to win the East and the Nationals to not even make postseason. If anybody remembers the little VIP sports drama with their resident baseball expert. But I do that every year. But if you want my initial thoughts right now of any surprises, and guys, what I'm getting ready to say doesn't mean that I want you to go bet this right now. I'll do my video and tell you what I'm actually wagering on before the season starts. But as far as any surprises, I mean, there's not going to be any surprises in the NL West. The only people in the NL West that, would even remotely have the ability to make a valiant run to win the NL West if all the stars aligned and the Dodgers were, bitten by the injury bug would be the Giants or the Diamondbacks. And I don't think either one of those teams, I think that we could put in just prospects for the Dodgers at this point, and they would probably still win. I don't think we're going to see any surprise in the NL West. The Dodgers, they were my pick. When they got eliminated last year from the postseason, I said right then and there on video that next day that the Dodgers will win the 2020 World Series and that they would make a huge offseason move and get another big-time star player, and they would make a pitching change. The pitching change was they have David Price, Ryu's not there, and they got Mookie Betts, which was my thought. We see it come to life. AL West, I think that the team that everybody is overlooking because of the scandal is the Houston Astros. I don't see anybody with not even close to the talent as a whole that the Houston Astros have. We'll see what the young guys and even people like that wormy little fuck Jose Altuve want to do with them getting booed for 162 games. But talent-wise, if they overcome that, I don't see anybody coming close to them, and they'll win the AL West. My runner-up in the AL West, and somebody that I've said on my podcast that could very well win the AL West and surprise everybody because they're a lot stronger than people are going to give them credit for, is the Angels. The Anaheim Angels, LA Angels, whatever they decide they want to be called. What people are forgetting is, and it's not about the fact that they got Rendon. It's not about the fact that they have Mike Trout. Rendon's a great addition to their batting lineup. That starting 9 rotation, that's a great addition. Mike Trout, call him the best player in baseball. Again, you can't get past that. The one key factor here in all these deals that they've made and the things that they've done is the fact that O'Shea Ohtani will be pitching again this year. I don't know if he'll come in as a middle reliever first. I don't think they want that. He's going to come in as part of their starting 9 at the beginning of the season and swing a bat and be one of their top 3 hitters. He will be up there with Trout and Rendon as someone that can hit, can hit for power, and he is consistent as consistent as they come. And when he gets back on the mound, you now have one of the most stud pitchers in the game that can also hit every other day that he's not standing on that mound. So, probably the most dynamic player in baseball as far as what he can do. And everybody knows that I have been overly obsessed with Ohtani since it was announced he was coming to America and had signed with LA. So I love O'Shea Ohtani. Besides Javier Baez, he is my favorite player in the game, and I hate that he doesn't, that he plays for an opposing team, but I am infatuated with his game. So I think they're the surprise there. AL Central, everybody thinks the Twins. That should be the most likely scenario. I actually think that the Cleveland Indians probably boast a little more talent down the stretch, but I think the team to look out for is the White Sox. The NL Central, I think that talent-wise and as far as a complete team, you have to lean Cardinals, but if they stay healthy, I do see the Cubs being able to make a run, as I do think that they are better managed, and I think that they have more explosive talent and young talent. It's all going to depend on health and what the Cubs decide to do if they keep letting trade rumors fly around. AL East and NL East. AL East, I've got to go with the Yankees, but I don't think the Red Sox are going to be as far behind as people think. NL East, I can't steer away from the Braves, as I think that they have overall the best team. I do think that the Nationals could give them a run, but even more so than the Nationals, I think the team that everybody's overlooking that has the best shot at maybe pulling an upset, because let's face it, the Nationals just won the World Series. If they come back and win the NL East, that shouldn't be a surprise. That should be somewhat of to be expected. You went. I mean, you got you got your pitcher back, right? You still have Scherzer. You drop Rendon, I get it. You still have Juan Soto that's going to go out and make a statement this year. But I don't think that the Nationals are better than the Braves. I don't think that the Nationals were better than the Braves last year. I think that everything fell into place for them. But the team that everybody's overlooking to be able to sneak up and bite someone and go, holy shit, where'd they come from, is the New York Mets. I think that's my surprise team. If I had to pick one team this year to say, who do you think could win the World Series that probably won't, but has the ability to do it while nobody's paying attention to them? The New York Mets. The most delirious fan base in all of sports. They were just in a World Series in 2015, and to hear Mets fans talk about it, they've got the worst ownership, the worst general manager, the worst coaching staff, everything, and they have not been to a World Series since, the Great Depression. They were just in a World Series in 2015 and have one of the best regular season runs I've ever seen of like 19 straight wins. And they have, in my opinion, outside of the Dodgers, the best pitching staff in the National League. So, all right, we're not going to stay live for long. First off, anybody that has donated to the Cal Ripken Foundation, a charity that I have done a lot with over the past 10 plus years, we're doing like a little donation drive this week. It's had a hell of a lot better turnout than I expected. So thank you to everyone that's been involved there. I hate calling people out by name if they don't want to be, but Eric, thank you. I know you were there. Chad, and I'm not going to remember everybody. I do know Alex. Alex in here, he actually made the donation of the day yesterday and got himself a 1-year all-access pass because of it. So I'm going to give away a couple of more of those. As a thank you to everybody, I'm matching everything dollar for dollar, and I hope that we hit a goal that I really didn't think was going to be doable. I think we may actually do it. We're almost halfway there. So, and everybody please keep in mind, When baseball season starts on March the 26th, do not expect a handful of baseball plays from me. You might get 2 or 3 baseball plays in the first 2 or 3, 4 days. I mean, it's too much of a crapshoot to go out there in day one. It's just like last year, day one of the season, people were blowing me up wanting baseball plays, and I told them, I said, there's no value. I have to see what teams do. The teams that everybody's thinking are going to be powerhouses this year are starting on the road against quote unquote scrubs. I said, you're going to see upsets here. Do not go throw a bunch of money around and let your bankroll take a hit in the first weekend of baseball. We need to wait. And by the end of the first full week, we're rolling. We're rolling. We have baseball every day, and we don't let our foot off the gas until October. Day one, I told everybody via email, I have no premium play. I have no top play in baseball. I threw fun money on the run line for the Yankees in game one against the Orioles. Fun money. Because, hell, it was like a minus 340, and I laid the alternate run line just to get it under 160. They took care of business. Game two rolls around the next day. Everybody's wanting baseball. And I said on video, you can go back and watch it. I said, watch the Yankees get beat today. Do not play baseball. If you're going to play it, you can take some money, throw a long shot on the Orioles at plus 290 or something, and the Orioles stomped the Yankees' ass in game two. Actually ended up winning the series, the opening series. So I'm telling you, if you are overzealous about that first weekend of baseball, you'll be doing it by yourself. You will not be getting it from me, and you will get bit. Just like the people that are crazy enough to play preseason baseball. But don't worry. By the end of that first week, by the time we're 7 to 9 days in, we'll be rolling right along. All right, let's see what I've missed. When you're doing those Talladega drawings, thinking about taking the old man to Kansas Speedway end of the year. Talladega drawings are probably going to be done next week. Or what is next week? When is the 11th? Week after next. I got to look at the dates. In the next 2 weeks, we'll do them. We have the drawings doesn't, like the entries don't end until Sunday. So every person that buys the NASCAR season or 1 year all access pass from, when, like obviously when we announced it and all that, up until the start of the race this coming Sunday is entered. Then, all that goes through. And I think the following week, that Monday or Tuesday, all of them should be drawn. I'm not actually doing the drawings. Our sponsor that we're doing this with is doing the drawings because they are the one holding all of the passes and all that. And everything will be announced. You'll be reached out to probably prior to the announcement. That way we know that we're not announcing somebody as a winner that isn't going to use them. Because then we got to go back and do it over again. So we're going to make sure that everybody has claimed it. Sign the disclaimer saying that you are taking it, all that stuff before we announce it, and then all of it will be mailed out. Kansas, I don't know if I'll be going to. I want to go to Kansas this year because that's one of the big things we're doing as far as marketing and promotion because of the casino there. But I don't know that I'll make it out there. I mean, hell, I'm supposed to go to spring training at the end of next week, and I'm doing everything I can to get 2 things moved on my schedule so that I can. I mean, I've already got a flight booked. And just everything came at one time, which is not a bad thing. It's not bad stuff. I just got a little bit too busy too fast. And this time of year, I got to focus on games every day, but trying to finish up all of my baseball stuff before the season starts. I've definitely got to put that before, spring training baseball, but that's something I've been waiting on for 6 months now. All right, later, Alex. What's up, Jerry? All right, nervous about my Cardinals this year. Thought we were going to make a few more moves. Reds, Cubs, Brew Crew, Central going to be strong this year. Pirates are a shitstorm. They've got nothing. But like last year, because of Josh Bell, I told everybody Pirates are going to come out hot. After the All-Star break, they fall off and they fall to the bottom of the Central and one of the worst teams in baseball, which they did exactly like that. The Reds are the most underrated team in the National League. They made the best offseason moves. The team over the past 3 years as a whole that's done the best offseason wise is the White Sox, in my opinion. Second to that, the Reds. The Reds had the best offseason of 2020, or not 2019 going into 2020. So wouldn't surprise me to see them contending. I think the Brewers made a few mistakes they shouldn't have done. They still have some key pieces that are going to make them competitive. One of those key pieces, we'll see what happens with his back. For all I know, they could be dead in the water by the All-Star break. The Cardinals are going to be a contender throughout. I do think the Cubs have overall more talent. I do think the farm system for the Cardinals looks better at this point, except for the fact the Cubs farm system is a little more developed, so they'll have more players ready to bring up if need be, and the Cubs are not shy about doing that, and they are not scared to bring up prospects. The Cardinals are not as, free-spirited about that, I should say. But we'll see. I mean, if there was a gun to my head right now and somebody said go bet on the NL Central the NL Central winner, I would have to lay my money on the Cardinals right now. I remember Seattle came out on fire and you called that. Yeah, that was actually my big preseason win total prediction that I gave out for free. I'm going to be doing another one of those probably next week, guys. Jared Trader, is there any value to betting spring training? Not only is there not any value, and I don't care what anybody tells you, they put on video, there's no way to even remotely have a informed opinion about it. These are split squads most of the time. They're prospects from rookie ball, single A, double A, triple A, some of your full-time summer and winter ball players for Cactus League and Grapefruit League are in there. All of your big studs that know they're making the lineup, they just have to come down there for workout purposes. So, like, taking the Cubs, for example, we know that Bryant, Rizzo, Baez, and Contreras are going to make the lineup. We know it. They don't have to go to spring training to get penciled in on the lineup and, make the team. But the Myrtle Beach Pelicans and the Iowa Cubs and the South Bend Cubs and all those guys, they're there trying to fight for a spot. Or, and then if they don't get that spot, they have to make a minor league roster. If they were, single A last year, do they get bumped up? Do they get moved down? Do they get cut and not get asked back? So that's what it's for. You're running split squads of players that you don't have near enough information on to bet, period. And you don't know who's playing, how long they're playing, what squad they're going to be on A or B, so you don't know whether they're going to be home or away. There's just no possible way for anyone. I don't care if you're sitting in the stands, you don't have an advantage in spring training. It makes me sick to my stomach when I see people go, hey, we've got a baseball top play today, and it's spring training. Let me tell you something. Flipping a coin is more accurate by far than saying that you're going to break down a spring training game and give a prediction on it. Let's say they go out there and say that John Lester's pitching or that Clayton Kershaw is going to pitch. In spring training, you can go out there and Kershaw can grab the ball, throw it one time or to one batter, and it gets a pop fly. Let's just say he throws it one time in the first inning. And it's a pop-up, shallow center, caught, out number one. Clayton can walk off that mound, and he's done for the day. Now, you guys didn't know that that's what he was going to do. We didn't know that's what he was going to do. but they wanted him to go out there, pitch his warm-up pitches because he did a bullpen session that morning. So they're like, okay, you did your bullpen session, so instead of doing your afternoon bullpen session, what we'll do is we have a game at 3 o'clock. Go get your warm-up pitches in before the game starts, and we'll let you pitch the first batter or the first inning, and then we'll pull you out. And he doesn't even hang around. He goes home. He goes back to his apartment if they have a house there. Joe Madden likes to bring out a motorhome. I have known many times, seen it with my own eyes, and know that it's going on. If you follow players like I do on social media, which is like the only reason I even created a social media account, you can have a player that suits up, takes the field, plays one inning, and before the next inning ends, he's 2 miles down the street in shorts and a collared shirt playing golf. And that game that he was in 10 minutes ago is still going on. Spring training baseball for you. So, short answer to your question, not no, but hell no. Long answer to your question, I just gave it to you. If you play spring training, you're going to lose. And if you make money throughout spring training, at the end of it, you say, I profited, it wasn't luck, it was a miracle. Because there's nothing other than luck that factored into you winning any given game. I mean, there's players that you cannot find StatCast information on because they were a walk-on in Gary, Indiana. And they said, all right, you're invited to spring training. And then the 13th game into spring training, they asked him to go pitch an inning. This is a kid that stats do not exist on. So how can you break that down? Even if they list him as a starter, saying that, Tits McGee's brother out there is going to pitch today. Awesome. Where's the stats on him? They don't exist because there are none. He went to tryouts for rookie ball in, the industrial league of Gary, Indiana. Oh, congrats out to my buddy Ryan Powell. I don't know if anybody remember Ryan played. He did some Major League Management. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And a young guy, too. Young guy. I'm sure all of you know who Ryan Powell is. He just took the management job with Erie. So he'll be out there in Cleveland instead of sunny South Florida, where he lives, to do some minor league ball. And I'm excited for him, happy for him that he's getting back into the game. He took a few years away to do some other business stuff, which is understandable. He's been in the game his whole life. Saw him at spring training, and we hung out for a day. And he said that he was going to, one way or another, get back into it full time versus just the speaking that he does. He just didn't know what it was yet, but he wanted to get back in at the grassroots level, which is what him and I both love so much. And I actually hired him last week, I believe, but he announced it today. So if you guys aren't following Ryan Powell on social media, Ryan Powell 11 or _11, go tell him I sent you. How about the New York Knicks? I don't know. How about them? All right, so let's do this because I'm only going to be live a few more minutes. Look, we got 33 people in here. There's only 21 likes. We need to get up to 33 likes, like right meow. 50 likes gets a premium play. Otherwise, I'm going to be giving away plays that might not make the premium card, but they'll be close. But real quick, I'm going to go refill this cup, and let's do the top 25 rundown. It'll be the last one of the season. And I'm going to give something away if you're able to guess something. So who's still in here? Eric, you run the chat. You or Jerry. And let me go grab this drink. I'll be right back. All right. You know what's really eerie? Life insurance and wills. Doing a will was by far, even thinking about a will, is probably the most eerie thing that you can do as a living human. One pass per winner. What's up, Ron? What's up, Eddie? And speaking of Phoenix, Phoenix race is coming up this weekend, and it's sure to be a good one. Patrick will be at that one, which he lives on the West Coast, so those are much easier for him to get to, all those races. That stretch is very easy for him to attend. But Phoenix this year will actually be where they have the championship race. Instead of Homestead like it's been for a long time now, they're going to try to make a change and see how it works, and they're going to do Phoenix at the end. And Homestead, I think Homestead's coming up this month. I think. Which will be odd. I think they should have pushed that back to midsummer. I know it'd be, God, it would be hot down there, but in March, that race will take all freaking day with pop-up showers, spring showers. Thank God it's not in April. But I'm becoming a big NASCAR guy. If anybody didn't tune in or see it on social media, Patrick hit another NASCAR card. He had 4 head-to-head matchups, going 3-1, and predicted another race winner. And this time it was one of his dark horse long shot winners, Alex Bowman, plus 1,000. Everybody in the world was on Kevin Harvick. Every expert, every analyst, every broadcaster, every so-called NASCAR handicapper, all of the above had Kevin Harvick pegged to win this thing by a mile. Patrick said he doesn't think that Kevin even cracks the top 10 during the finish. Well, luckily, because of one snafu at the end, he did get into the top 10, but it was by luck of the draw. Not at any time did Kevin Harvick look like he had a prayer to win the race. So I guess we see where the expertise lies. People have been asking me a lot about the people that decided to use our cards as their own. That hopefully has been handled. I think everybody should have noticed if they read between the lines that somebody who doesn't pick race winners miraculously picked a race winner on Joey Logano, and then, of course, no race winner prediction following that, when there was a lot of hype about it. And you can't do it unless you get to use someone else's info. All right, so, and to Jerry, no. Keith. Yeah, dude, I heard about that. They said the tornado ripped through downtown. That's crazy. I remember when a tornado went through downtown Atlanta back in, 2010? I don't know why I want to say 2010. And that was pretty intense. Basically just walked down the interstate. But yeah, Prayers to everyone out in Nashville, man. That's awful. And what's crazy is that, like, you don't see tornadoes in places like that often because you're surrounded by mountains. So it breaks that wind up. So it's odd to get a tornado in places like that anyway that would be able to do the damage that it did, especially in early March with as cold as it is. But then you get it to go through downtown? It's crazy. Coronavirus has popped up in ATL. Are you being for real? Don't say that, because I live up the 85 corridor. Well, fucking neighbor will have it next week. All right, so Jerry, to answer your question, no, there will be one winner here. I am going to give away a March Madness package. So if you are already on a 1-year all access, or you already have the March Madness package, or you already are on the basketball season, so it's going to be of no benefit to you, my request is that you give it away to someone. It's your choice who you give it away to. You don't have to give it to someone in the chat. I would prefer that you did, but that'll be your choice. But what I'm going to do is I'm gonna ask a question here in a second, and the first one to give the correct guess is going to be the winner. I'm going to give you the March Madness package. If you don't have it already, or you're not going to be getting those plays already, then it's yours, and your plays will start when the tournament starts, or when the conference tournament starts. If you already are going to be getting those plays, you can gift it to someone, or no, I tell you what. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do something different this time. First one to guess it correctly wins. But if it's someone that already has it, then the second person that got it right will move on to them. If they already are getting them, then I'm going to revert back to that first person, and they can choose someone to gift it to. So, the question's going to be, where in my top 25, because I've been saying since the beginning that Baylor was not the best team in the country. Not at any time this year have they been the best team in the country. And they've more than proven my case for me that they are not the best team in the country. Lost to Kansas, I'll give them that one. We'll give them a free hall pass on that one. But then you lose to TCU. Last night, you beat Texas Tech, but you lost. You lost. You went into overtime. It was luck, pure luck, that Texas Tech did not win that game in regulation. You squeaked that one out. But yet again, at home, with every advantage in the world in that game, every bit of motivation, everything to play for in the world, you went out there for 40 minutes plus overtime and got worked against a team that is, truth be told, is not as good as Baylor. Baylor's still in my top 25. Hell, I think nationally they're still ranked in the top 5 or something stupid. They're still in my top 25. The first person to accurately guess where I have Baylor ranked 1 through 25 will win. And to be honest with you, I'll give you a hint. I don't think that they should be ranked as high as I've got them, but I'm giving them some credit for what they did previously in the season. Not to mention the fact that they still are 26-3, and they are still walking away no matter what with a fantastic season. So I'm being lenient with them. But the first one to accurately guess what spot, 1 through 25, that Baylor's listed in my top 25 will win. And the runner-up, so I'm looking for the first two to guess it correctly. And we'll see who does so. All right, I see some guesses coming in. All right, stop. Everybody stop. No more guesses. No more guesses. Give me just a second, guys. I don't know what the hell is wrong with my freaking email. I'm getting everything kicked back to me for no reason. All right, no more guesses. So we have two winners, or with the first two, and I think they were the only two to actually guess it too. All right, so the first winner is Who Dat Bob. 14 was his guess. That is the spot I have Baylor ranked nationally in my system. 14th in the country. And a lot of that is heavy on what they've done in the past, 10 days. The second person to get it right, and from what I can see, the only other person was Shizik14. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your username. So, Who Dat Bob? Do you already get my plays? Yay or nay? All right. Who Dat Bob? Do you have should be one entry per customer, not 4. That's how I've always done it, man. First one to get it. So we've got a winner. Like I said, we were going to use the runner-up just in case that person did not or was already getting my plays. But so we have a winner. It is Who Dat Bob. So Bob, if you want them, do you have an account with my website, chasewins.com? Have you ever purchased anything there before? I think there's a little bit of lag in this video, so. Okay. Give me your username. I don't need your password or any of that. Just tell me what your username is. All right, there we go. I got it. So let's do something real quick. Hopefully this will be easy. There you are. $2020 March Madness. Access granted. All right, you're in. You got March Madness package. You will not see plays coming immediately because obviously it hasn't started yet. But once the conference tournaments begin and I have plays on those, you will get emailed when plays are posted and you can log in and get them. You have access to those games. So when they are posted, you will see them when you log in. So congrats, you won. You are... I have given your account access to it. So let's do the top 25 rundown. My top 25 going into the last week of the regular season of college basketball is number 1, still the reigning number 1, and who I truly believe is the best team in the country by a long shot, is the Kansas Jayhawks. Number 2, again, I've said it that I don't personally agree with it, but I am going off of the numbers. I just feel like it's a manufactured resume because they don't play any stout competition for the most part. But Gonzaga. Number 3, again, another manufactured resume. And what happened against Nevada the other night was absolutely criminal. They were cheated. Nevada had the game. San Diego State made a valiant effort to come back, but they absolutely screwed Nevada in coming back to bring that game back to life. It was one ref in particular. I think they were both in on it, but one either had a personal vendetta against Nevada. He was in on it, getting paid. I don't like to say stuff like that. I hate saying stuff is rigged, but that was the most disgusting and unacceptable bit of officiating that I have seen in college basketball in years. They screwed those boys and they played their hearts out and they outplayed San Diego State for the overwhelming majority of that game. And they weren't even given a chance at the end. It was disgusting. But I've got San Diego State as San Diego State's number 4. I skipped over number 3. Maryland, number 3. They do have 6 losses on their resume, but Maryland is somebody that before the season even started, I said could make a run and win it all this year if things fell into place for them. People are starting to buy into what I said now. Maryland has proven that if you overlook Maryland, they'll beat you anytime, any place, and by any amount of points that they want to. So, got Maryland there, then San Diego State, followed by the Dukies. Again, freshmen, heavy. That's why they've lost what they have. They're still one of the most talented teams in the country, whether I hate them or not. I do not think they have a shot at winning the national title this year. I think they'll be given every opportunity, but I just think they're too freshman heavy and too mistake prone because of it to do so. Followed by Dayton, Louisville, Ohio State, BYU, Houston, Michigan State. I'm skipping over one again. So, followed by Dayton, then followed by Louisville, Ohio State, West Virginia, BYU, Houston, Seton Hall, Baylor, Michigan State. Michigan follows Michigan State right behind them. Florida State, Villanova, Creighton, Penn State, Arizona, Texas Tech, Wisconsin, Oregon, Iowa, and then Following the pack is still number 25, Purdue, and then sitting just outside that top 25 is a team that I think can make a statement right here at the end and be within that top 25, and that is the Kentucky Wildcats. There's your top 25, your final top 25 rundown of the 2019-2020 college basketball season. It has been a pleasure doing that with you all every week. So let's now get on some free shiz. Let's see if any lines have moved, because I've already given out. If you haven't watched my free play video, go do it, because I gave out a lot of information, a bunch of free shit on my video today, so it's well worth the watch. It's long, but oh well. I wonder where Lou's at today. I got some papers I need to ruffle up. All right, let's see what we got. And if my contacts don't come in today, guys, you may not ever see me again. I'll have a wreck going down the road because I cannot see. They were supposed to be here Thursday, and it said Friday. And then it was, oh, they're on the way. We're, be here Monday. Still haven't seen them. And the mail has run for today. That's not a good sign. Unless they got sent to my office, which I'll be going there in a little while. But I can't see. Let's see what we got. Most of the lines seem like they are pretty much the same. A couple of them have shifted a half point. There's one that's moved a whole point. But as far as the games that I was interested in, keep scrolling down the list here, but everything looks as though it's pretty much the same. Which is a good thing. A lot of value in college basketball this week, guys. Last week of the regular season. It's the last push. All right, so let's do this. I will give you guys a game that is as close to being on my premium card as you can possibly get. The only thing I'm lacking is physically placing my bet, and the only reason that I haven't is because this was a team that had some flu type illness run through it last week, and it didn't really affect them as far as people sitting out, but that's been something, looming around for the past 7-8 days, and it's still been in question. So I need to verify that all the people that have, that dress every night are going to, that nobody's going to be sitting out or limited to minutes, because then obviously that can change the dynamic of a game. So as long as none of that happens, the play that I'm going to give you will more than likely end up on my card. And it's a play that I like the side and the total. The total is where I lean heavier, but if I end up playing the total, then I will probably at the very least sprinkle some on the side as well. Let me look at one more thing just to see if I can get a better line on it. Because lines have been weird. Shop your lines right now, guys. Every single day for the past 4 or 5 days. 5 Dimes, MyBookie, Bovada, William Hill, everybody's had different lines. I mean, I saw a line last night that had, and it was Stations, I believe it was. At one time, I had Howard minus 3.5. Only book on the face of the planet that had that. Everybody else had Howard minus 1, minus 1.5. I think Howard went to minus 2 at tip-off. We had him on the money line, so it didn't matter. But I'm just saying, right now, this last week, there's going to be a lot more reverse line movement, a lot more just internal BS than you would see most of the time. I'm pretty much seeing everything the same, which is good. All right. So the game that I like is Buffalo versus Miami of Ohio. And I like the total in that game. Total sitting 150. Is it still sitting there? Yep, still sitting at 150. Well, there's a 155 or 150.5. So, but at 150 or above, I like the under Buffalo, Miami of Ohio. Buffalo is, a high-scoring team. They're a team that can end up in the 80s every single game. Miami of Ohio is not necessarily a lower-scoring team, but in this particular matchup, again, guys, I focus on situational more than anything else in sports. Besides individual player statistics, people go back and say, oh, look at trends. The last 16 times these teams have played each other, this is what's happened. I don't care about what happened when, 16 years ago or even 3 years ago when none of these players were playing college ball. So why do those trends matter? They don't. But handicappers, experts, whatever, you want to claim them, that's the reasonings. Oh, in the last 10 years, Miami of Ohio and Buffalo have gone over 9 times out of 10. Okay. All I care about is right now, the players that are taking the court tonight. So individual player statistics and situational matchups. Where is a team, when they come into this game, where does this team stand? Same for their opponent. And how do these two teams, no matter how better one is than the other, how do they match up with each other based on what's gone on in the past 10 days? The 10 calendar days. Buffalo is a better team. By far. Buffalo's a 9-point favorite. I'll sprinkle some on Buffalo minus 9. I want it under double digits. If it gets to 10 or higher, I'm staying off, even though I think they could win the game by 30. I'm laying off. There's no value there. We keep it under 10, I'm going to play something on Buffalo. The premium play, under 150, because I think that when Buffalo tends to get hot from the outside, they like to ride that left side, shift it over to the right when someone figures it out. Miami of Ohio plays a spread out 3-2 zone that will keep Buffalo in check. They won't just be able to say, oh, the left side's not working out, let's go to a wide open right side. You're going to go to the left, to the right, to the top of the key. It doesn't matter. You're going to be just as heavily defended everywhere. You're not going to drive in on the lane. You're not going to drive in the lane on them over and over and over again, because even though Miami of Ohio plays shit defense for the most part, they will make you commit offensive fouls. They will go to the line, they will get in the bonus, and free throws will keep them in a game like this. Buffalo is going to rely on outside shots. The outside shots are not going to fall at the rate that they usually do, being that Miami of Ohio, whether they play good defense or not, they're successful in making it difficult. And that's all that's needed to keep a Buffalo team that is well below what they've been in recent years. So I think for that and the fact that Buffalo loves to eat up clock when they can in the later moments, and Miami of Ohio eats up clock because they just don't pay attention to a shot clock, I think we're going to see a game that gets into the 130s in the later minutes, possibly even a close game, and it's going to come down to the free throw line to gain points because people are going to be burning time versus throwing up threes. Now, never know what can happen. If Miami of Ohio is down 30 or vice versa, and one team just for pride wants to try to do something in the last 2 minutes, we've seen it before, we'll see it again. But tonight, situationally, the way these two teams match up and the way that where Buffalo scores the majority of their points in, when they do it in a quick fashion, I don't think they're going to be able to do it as easily as they normally would. So I'm seeing a game ending around 136 to 138. I'm going under 150, Buffalo, Miami of Ohio. How about that? Damn, there's a lot of stuff coming through. Hell yeah, I sleep with mine in. I shouldn't. Do I like? I don't think that these messages are coming in order. I do believe that. Do you like Maryland today against Rutgers? Yeah, but again, it's all situational. Rutgers is not a team to mess with. They're not a great road team, home team. They've been one of the best in the country. They match up well to the style of play that Maryland has. I like their coach. I think that their players, when they get rotated in and out, minute wise, I think they do that better than anyone in the Big Ten, to be honest with you. Second to them, I truly believe that Ohio State does it better than Maryland. Problem is, Maryland's got more talent. Maryland knows how to push the pace. But when it comes to conserving what your players have and rotating players in and out and doing it the smart way, I think that Rutgers is the best in the Big Ten and one of the best in the country at doing so. So can Maryland fall to Rutgers? Yes. That doesn't mean Rutgers is better than them. They're most certainly not. But if there's any game left on Maryland's schedule, that they've got in this next week. And I don't even know if Maryland plays again after this. I think they have one more game. Either way, it doesn't matter. Going back to the last few games that they've had, this would be the most likely scenario for me to say that Maryland gets beat. But at the same time, I'm not going to fade Maryland because there's no justifying it. So that'll more than likely be a game that I stay off of unless I throw some fun money on it or unless I find a bit of information that really pushes me one way or the other. But as of right now, that's where I stand on that. Elliot, if you bet preseason, I'll say a prayer for you. That's all I got to say. That is the most degenerate crapshoot of betting that you can do. If you win, you are lucky. There was no skill that went into it. You were lucky. And if you lose, it was expected. Preseason baseball is one thing that nobody has ever been or will ever be able to accurately predict a likely outcome. Jason Gilmore says 8. I'm assuming that was for the contest from 20 minutes ago. No unders in that video, Steven. Everything, or no overs. Everything was under. That was my secondary play. My bigger play was actually in the game before that. Let me take a look at something here because I got to roll, guys. I tell you, a game, all bullshit aside, be on the lookout for Penn State tonight. In this situation, Michigan State should beat them, but I think Penn State's a better team. I think Michigan State's the better team, but in this situation, I think Penn State has the upper hand, and I think the line's backwards. I think Penn State should be minus 1.5 to 2, not Michigan State. But I get it. So if there's any active dog you want to take the money line on and take a shot with, I'd say Penn State would be a good bet. It's time for Izzo to do Izzo things and not win. I've already said in my other video how I felt about North Carolina Wake Forest. I hold true to that. We talked about 2 NBA games. I still hold true to that. Please, no one put that in the chat. If people want those picks, they can watch the video like everyone else had to. If somebody asked me a minute ago, do I like Iowa over Purdue? I think the line's too high because I truly believe that Purdue is a better team than Iowa. Iowa has played better down the stretch. I think they're better defensively, but I think that what Purdue can do on offense in a short amount of time, especially what they can do on the road, I like Purdue. If it comes down to both these teams in the big dance, like trying to make a run, I've said it since the beginning of the season that I think Purdue could run with anybody. I would see Purdue going farther, to be honest with you. Tonight, I don't know that I'd lay 4.5 with Iowa, but I think Iowa wins the game. But I think the line's a little bit too high. When I did it, I had it at 2.5. It's not saying that it's not worth some fun money. I think if you were forced to play that game, I like the under in that game as well because I think Iowa's going to make Purdue have a really rough night. But I think Purdue is going to run Iowa ragged just enough to where in the later minutes, Iowa's gassed. So if we could see another under there, something getting into the high 120s. But yes, I like Iowa over Purdue, but I don't like the spread. I think it's too high. Can they cover it? Sure, they should cover it in this game. But it's not getting my premium money. All right, I don't see why are all these things jumbled up because that was said. That was Alex. He left the chat a half hour ago. And now that's coming in as the latest message. Guys, I don't know what's new and what's not. I know that I'm getting old messages pop up again. So if I didn't respond to your question or comment or anything, I apologize. It's not on purpose, but I'm not going back through 300 messages to see if it is of the utmost importance. You guys know how to get in touch with me. So there's you a free premium play that I gave. If you want other plays, I have a premium play on my free play video that I did, as well as 2 strong leans. The leans, one in NBA, one in college basketball. Premium play was in the NBA on that video. It is a long one, but it's 3 plays, so I want to hear shit about it being long. Oh, it's too long. Well, then go get 3 free plays from someone else. I swear, one person makes a comment, says that it's too long on the comments today. I'm just going to block them. I'm just going to make it, because now you can do the YouTube reporting thing where you can actually report someone to not even be able to see your content. That's what I'm going to start doing. People are like, your videos suck because you lost a game or they're too long. Well, guess what? You will never see them again. Problem solved. All right, so now I'm seeing Alex's again come up. Jerry Valdez from earlier. And then Bama 12. Okay, that's a new. All right, I don't know what's new, what's not new. Love you guys. Go check out Kyle Johnson. He should be live somewhere with Cappers Nation, Cappers Direct, if he's doing the live show today. So go check him out. I'm out of here. I've got to run and do a couple of things, wait on the NHL reports, and then get the plays out. Plays will be out a little bit earlier than normal today because a lot of information I had very late last night and early into the morning hours when I was working, which is convenient. I liked it. So probably get the plays out an hour or two early today. But I'm going to jump off here. March Madness package, $199. All premium and daily top plays through March Madness. NASCAR, $4.99 for the season. If you wait another race and spend $50 for the race card and you're still not buying it, you're insane. And that's putting it nicely. The donations. Cal Ripken Foundation. Thank you all so much who have done so thus far. And anybody who does it, going forward. I really appreciate it. They appreciate it. And all the kids that will be affected by it appreciate it. So baseball's almost here. It's senior night in Chapel Hill. Wake Forest is a bunch of punks. And go Hills. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Oh, and Thursday, unless something changes, I think Kyle and I are going to do some live stuff together. I'm still going to do my normal show Thursday. I think he's going to do his, but I think I may go on his show for a little while, talk about some NASCAR, talk about some baseball, and whatever else. And, hell, just one for good measure, I guess. See you guys.